Hi, and welcome to the Girls in Real Life podcast.
Hello, I'm here too. Merry Christmas, everyone.
This is our Christmas episode, so try and control your excitement.
Woo, I'm so excited.
I know, God.
Well, actually, no, because when this
Buzzing.
goes out, it will have already been Christmas, so it's not Christmas anymore. This is going out on the 27th, so Christmas has been and gone. Hope everyone's had some great gifts.
I hope you've had an amazing Christmas.
Lots of food.
Or whatever you celebrate.
Alcohol.
Definitely alcohol. And I hope you're all getting ready for the new year. Well, topic today related to the new year.
Toxic friendships. And how to... What's the nicest word? Dump a friend.
Annihilate, break up.
Break up a friendship.
Absolutely destroy.
Yes, this could be like... This for me, this is going along with my New Year's resolutions. I feel like it's something I want to go into 2020
and be a lot stronger with.
And really, because I'm too nice and I always put up with people's crap.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially friendships. So I'm like, they'll be better.
But see,
you know,
isn't a friendship the same as a romantic relationship at the end of the day? If you're in a bad relationship, you're like, oh, break up immediately or whatever. But with friendships,
I think it's harder with friends, definitely, because I think especially because they're the people you go to talk about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like, you know, because obviously not everyone's like really close with like their parents or siblings or whatever. So like a friend is like an external, impartial person that you can just like get everything out with.
Yeah, well, you choose your friend.
Yeah, so when that person becomes the person you want to dump, that's quite an issue.
Yeah, it's something that I think is becoming more relevant now. In the past, obviously, you just keep your friends and your childhood friends and everything else. But I think we're moving into an age where people are starting to realise that friendships aren't always the nicest and they are quite toxic.
Yeah, definitely.
And unhealthy. And I think, especially with mental health being a huge thing, I think a bad friendship, you know, can ruin your mental health. And
yeah, definitely. But then what would you define as a bad friend?
I'd say a bad friend is somebody who is selfish in a way where they won't help you, and your friends are supposed to be there for you, supposed to help you out, and you're supposed to help each other. It is a mutual thing. If somebody's always about their own problems and never asking you about yours, or never asking you about your day, I think they're quite a bad friend. They may not realise, you know, but that doesn't make it good.
I think for me as well, on top of that, a big issue is like effort.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely needs to be a balanced where you're both putting in effort, like, oh, I'll suggest that we do this, and then they respond by, yeah, we'll do that, and then, oh, well, I've thought of this for us to do, or even if it's just like, come round to my house, or we'll go to the drive-through and get a McFlurry. That's putting in.
It's just somebody thinking about you, isn't it? Somebody being like, oh, I care about this person, let's do this, or, oh, well, let's do this. But I feel like when it's just you messaging them or you arranging stuff, it, you know, it drags you down a bit and it makes you feel, do these people even want to see me?
Yeah. I think you do have to, like, weigh up what's going on in their life. Like, for example, if they've moved or if they've got a new relationship. I feel like when people get into new relationships, that can cause strife in friendships quite a lot.
But I feel like you have to weigh up at the start. But if they're like doing this consistently,
like continuous, like it's been like a few months, and you're like, okay.
If you're always like, oh God, that person never gets back to me, I have to arrange stuff, and I've just got to the point now where I literally just, if somebody wants to message me, they can message me, but I'm not messaging them back unless it's important or I want to message them.
Yeah,
I'm not putting active effort into people who don't put effort into me. In the past, I have had friendships, and you think they're the best person, you think, oh, they care about me, all this lot, but then when it comes down to it, they don't, and like either distance, because obviously I moved from Sheffield to here or whatever, or like if they've moved, or you know, they've got a new job, or you've got a new boyfriend or whatever, and then afterwards they're just not there for you, and it's quite a hard pill to swallow. And I remember I've talked to Brad about it a lot, and I've been like, is there something wrong with me? Why do all my friendships turn out like this? But then I think it's me maturing and changing.
See, this has been happening to me for like my whole life, if I'm honest. Like at different stages of my life, I've always had like a concrete group of friends at that time. And looking back now, it's a bit depressing in the sense that, like, because I know so many people that still have those concrete friendships from when they're like, when we were literally like in primary school, like they're still friends now, whereas I like seem to have formed friendships on the basis of like, well, I was at Worcester doing my undergrad, so that maybe this was my group of friends there, and then now I've come to Nottingham, or like when I was in secondary school and things like that. But like, I feel as though not just because somebody's been in your life for that long, say from primary school, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't move away from them as you move. So it's not necessarily in that circumstance that you're dumping your friend, I guess. You're just evolving and being around the people that are around you at that time, maybe.
I mean, it makes sense. I've got a few of my childhood friends who I grew up with, and we don't see each other as much, obviously, because of distance. But there's one of my friends who I see, and when we see each other, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
But then I have other friends where it's like, oh,
it'd be better in a group scenario.
Be better in a group. Or, like, to be fair, most of my friends from, like, one of the places I worked, we're all, like, huge group of friends. But now we've all split off and done our own things, because obviously we're developing and we're moving on. And we've, like, split up. And it's, like, it's not necessarily a bad friendship, but it's, like, we've all just drifted apart. But I feel like if some people were clinging on, it might have to be a breakup.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I wouldn't even say that'd be toxic. I feel like it'd just be, like, a dormant friendship that isn't going anywhere. We're just literally clinging on.
Stagnant.
I didn't want to say that, but literally clinging on for dear life. But
with your acrylic nails.
I wish. But how would you define a toxic friendship? Have you, like, obviously don't name an example, but give an example?
I don't think I've had any, like, personally, I've never had any that, like, are necessarily, like, really toxic and, like, I feel like I'm clinging on when I shouldn't be because they make me feel bad for leaving them out or whatever. But I think sometimes you have to decide whether it's that person sort of taking up space, maybe. I know that sounds quite harsh.
Ouch.
But if you're just clinging on to a friendship because it's a friendship, I think that can be quite toxic in itself, and you sort of create that yourself.
Yeah, because you're not clinging on for the right reasons.
Yeah, you're clinging on, and I think that applies to relationships as well. It's like, oh, well, I've been with this person for X amount of years, so I should stick to it because of the time period and what we've been through, rather than the person. And that is actually quite harsh.
Yeah, it's definitely quite harsh.
But, you know, I put it on the Instagram, so I've got to commit.
You put that. You've got to commit.
Are these people taking up space?
Is it your honest opinion?
But yeah, I think as well, like, it doesn't have to be that you have to, like, dump. Like, it has to be this
like cutthroat,
like
dump.
Cutthroat, they're out. I think sometimes you do it to one another.
Yeah.
And, like, you just drift away. And I think that does classify as having a friendship dump.
Yeah,
I'm using
I think
quotation marks, air quotation.
I definitely think so. And I think also when it's sort of like you both know the friendship's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And you both sort of, like, misleading each other.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, we'll see each other in, like, 3 months or something.
And you know it's never going to happen.
And then each time it's like, oh, we'll see each other in a year.
And it's
we'll
longer.
see each other, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point and you're like, they've literally been cut from your life.
Yeah.
And it's sad to look back and then be like...
It is,
when you see memories and you're like, damn.
Tell them everything.
Yeah.
Like, literally everything. Like, they'd be, like, your person.
Any problem, you'd literally, like... go to, and any issues. I know one, a few friends, like, somebody in my family died, and then I think this was, like, at college, and, like, really close with them, and we'd all see each other and everything. And then as soon as I left college, we just all drifted apart.
Yeah.
They went to different unis, I went to different unis, obviously. One of them even moved countries, and, like...
Oh, wow.
It wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't a toxic friendship, but it was a sort of thing of, like, where we kept making false promises, and
yeah,
a part of me was like, oh, one day maybe we'll have a reunion and it'll be amazing.
I think this does happen a lot at the end of, like, not necessarily like secondary school to A levels, because I feel as though a lot of people still follow their friendship groups at that age, but I think definitely when you finish your A levels or like your college course and you go to university,
when you're an adult,
all your friends go to different unis, you're always like, oh, we'll keep in touch, we'll meet up, and you don't. I think you try. I know one of my old best friends from like secondary school and college, we went to different colleges, but we still like stayed in contact. And then she went to a different uni. I ended up going to a uni, dropping out. Different story for another day. And then go back to that one.
I remember going to see her at uni. And like that was the last time I remember actually seeing her. And I remember it was after our birthday.
Oh my god, but that's so long ago now.
And I went to see her. It must have been like 3-4 years ago. It's been forever. And then I don't know what happened at that point, but we just stopped talking. And it's so weird. And like I look. Obviously, you see him on like social media, or you see him on like
I find that so strange. Like, there's so many people that I follow from like primary school, secondary school, A levels, even like undergrad, uni, and I'm like, I'm following you on social media, and I'm liking your pics, and like occasionally I'll leave like a little comment, like, oh, you look beautiful, whatever, but
not like a meaningful.
Would never text these people,
no,
or drop a message in the group chat. Because, like, it's just sort of, everyone's, like, moved on from that. But I think that is an important piece of advice for, like, anyone that is worried about drifting away from their friends when they go to uni. Because I think everyone thinks that it's, like, the be-all and end-all. And it's really not. Like, it sounds harsh, but they will do it to you also. Like, it's not like you're doing it to be malicious. You're not purposely,
it's not like deliberately
these people being rude. It is just what organically happens. So I think in that sense don't see it as like you're dumping your friend, because you're not. It's just moving with the time,
definitely,
and it just happens.
I think so. But I also add that I feel like when you go to uni, like we're doing a master's, but mainly for your undergrad. You go for 3 years and everybody says, oh, you go to uni, you make friends for life. I feel like that's false. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
That is a 100% lie.
Yes.
You try, and then life happens and you just stop talking. And then you see each other again on social media and it's like, oh, awkward.
See, for me and my sister have had completely different experiences. So, like, when I was doing my undergrad, I did make some good friends, but we're not really in contact anymore because we're just doing our own thing. People have got jobs, people are doing whatever they're doing, live with their partners, blah, blah, blah. Whereas my sister, the people that she lived with in halls, she still lives with now in her third year, and they're so close.
But is that because they're still at uni?
Potentially. But as an outsider, I can see how their group dynamic is different to the one that I was in. So, I mean, obviously, like, when she graduates next year and they all go off to do their own things, like, I know she's going to a different uni for her masters, to what her friends are and whatever. It'll be interesting to see if that group dynamic changes. But just the way that they behave with one another, you can tell that it's different. But I do think there is like a thing where people think they're going to make their friends for life at uni. Likewise,
it's not true.
My lecturer at my undergrad was like, I met the love of my life on my first day. I feel like that's the thing with uni. Everyone thinks they're going to meet the love of their life.
They're going to meet the best friends for life. They're going to meet the love of their life. The life set. They're going to live on like a nice road.
Hunky-dory.
They're going to get an amazing job. You know, you do an arts degree. You're going to get the best job. You're going to live in an amazing house. Lies.
It is a complete... I think maybe back in the day it probably worked.
Back in the day, because there weren't as many people.
But definitely now I think that's not a thing anymore.
Oh, it's definitely not a thing.
And like, I know my mum, she said like, she didn't go to uni per se, but she like moved away to train as a nurse. And she said that she didn't meet her true life friends until she started working, because she was around completely like-minded people And they're still her best friends to this day, like 30 years on. And even though they don't live near each other, like they always send a card and like they'll message on Facebook or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But she hasn't advanced to like WhatsApp or anything. But like she said, that is when you meet the friends for life.
Yeah,
and they're
I
the
think
people
so.
that come to your wedding and things.
I agree. Obviously it's different. I've been at uni, in between uni, doing retail jobs and like sales jobs. But the people I've met in the workplace, I've had stronger bonds with.
Oh my God, workplace friends are another level of friends.
Yeah.
Like they're not, you wouldn't necessarily always associate with them outside of work. But at work, you tell them all your problems.
Well, yeah, at work it's literally like therapy.
It's like rant central.
But for me, I don't know if it's because I've met people who are around my age.
Yeah.
The same sort of artistic soul, as cheesy as it is. And we've sort of bonded over it. And even though I don't work there anymore, we still meet up and we class each other as like really close friends, and we do
probably
stuff
because
together.
I work at Dunelm Mill.
Yeah.
It's probably a contributing factor.
I was going to say.
As much as I love the people, like I don't think we really associate outside of
It's
work.
the sort of thing as you'd leave and you wouldn't look back.
Yeah, I might pop in, and be like, hi.
Can I have a discount?
That's it.
Discount coffee, please.
So, back to the whole dumping situation then. So, we've established that you don't have to cutthroat dump someone. But if you want to, if someone is so toxic, like they pull you down or, I don't know, they don't text you first or they don't put any effort in, how would you go about cutting them out?
See, I've done this. Not a lot, but because I've got to the point where I'm just sick of toxic friendships.
Yeah, you said that was your mantra for 2019.
Literally, I came into 2019 out the womb again.
Reborn,
rebirth, Charlie. And I literally woke up, and because I moved to a new city, I came at the like half of 2018, moved to a new city, and I felt so lonely. I felt so shit, and like I had Brad, and he was like my main squeeze.
Sorry, ASMR. Water bottle.
My main squeeze. And he was there for me throughout it. But then I came to 2019 and I was like, right, the people who aren't really my friends, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to try and message. I'm literally just going to focus on the people who want to speak to me and who I want to speak to now.
Yeah.
And I came in 2019. And the people who weren't really speaking to me, I either unfollowed or unfriended on Facebook.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
That is quite cutthroat,
It
really.
started with unfollowing.
Social media is quite the thing.
Yeah, social media is everything.
Because you can check.
Can you?
Yeah, like...
God, I've unfollowed so many people.
I know I'm a bit Instagram friendly, aren't I?
God.
I do have an app that tells me who's unfollowed me.
I did not know that.
Just because I don't... Like, I know in the past people that I know have unfollowed me.
Is that on all social media?
I
because
don't
I
know
unfollowed
if you can get
someone.
It for Facebook.
Because I unfollowed someone
Twitter.
on Instagram literally yesterday.
Oh,
because,
Instagram, yeah. Definitely. That's what I have it for.
Because I was going through my followers and I was like, who do I not speak to? Unfollow.
Oh, God.
And then she followed me and unfollowed me again and like did it to get a notification.
Yeah, that's a bit attention seeking.
And then I felt awkward, so I followed her again.
Oh, Charlie.
But then she hasn't accepted it, so I'm like, rude. But then I'm like,
on request.
But yeah, so what? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Panicked me there. But I would unfollow, unfriend, and then I actually started blocking a few numbers.
Oh, wow.
And I went through my contacts. I like had a complete rebirth. I went through my contacts and I actually started deleting people. First blocking, then deleting.
Yeah.
Giving them like names, renaming them to like dick, twat, whatever. Sorry, pardon my French. Renaming them. After I got my pettiness out, then I actually blocked, deleted. And then I was like, right, I'm not making any effort. They're out of my life.
I mean, yeah, if they're blocked, they're pretty much gone at that point.
Any pictures I had of us are gone.
Like, goodbye in the bin.
Literally, delete out the recycling bin.
Yeah.
Literally, gone.
Wow, that's pretty...
Yeah, well, I'm just sick of being a doormat with friends. And I think it's a common problem, and I don't think people talk about it enough.
No, I think it is a bit of a sensitive issue, really. Because it's like, I think a lot of people don't want to be that cutthroat. I think that's a good thing to do, though. I think because of, like, social media and stuff, if you don't want to see their stuff, you can literally press unfollow or unfriend or whatever. I've never gone that far.
I think the reason
apart
why...
from that person that I blocked.
Well, yeah, but you
recently.
had to do that.
You know.
For legal reasons. I think, especially for me, the reason why I had to be so cutthroat, because I've been the person in the past who's like, oh, I won't do anything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as a teenager, I suffered quite a lot with, like, depression, anxiety, and a lot of mental illness. And, you know, for a long time, I was always trying to drag myself down and became, you know, a negative person.
When really it's, like, the people around
you
that are bringing you down.
I think
instead.
It was literally the people around me who would bring me down. And then I'd enhance it in my head and be like, they haven't messaged me or they haven't done this. And then 2019, I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of being someone's bitch. I'm literally being my own bitch.
Goodbye. See you later. Stay in 2018.
I remember literally telling Brad about it, and he was like, it's like, God, that's stone cold. He's like...
Did he go and check? You hadn't followed him?
Unfriended him. Yeah, moving out. But I think it's, you know, once you get to that stage, I think it's something you have to do. You might get to that stage in the future when you're a bitter old lady like me, but...
Bitter old lady? What, the ripe old age of 25 or whatever? Yeah, I've got 3 years to go and then I'm like, I'll be ready to unfollow
I'm a
people.
quarter through my life, God. Thanks for the reminder.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
It's so old.
It's not old. You haven't got your walking frame yet.
Not yet. Working up to
Next year, 26.
Next year, 26.
It's waiting outside your door, like, right.
Literally. Coming
poised
closer.
and ready.
So how would you leave a toxic friendship?
I think I'm still at that stage where I'm too nice. But, like, the latter half of 2019, I have...
Become a bit harsher. Yeah,
definitely. Not just, like, with friendships either, but with, like, people that I'm, like, dating or things like that, or family. I think this can apply to family. Like, so I think...
Yeah, definitely.
Just because it's, like, blood's thicker than water, all that poo.
Doesn't mean
that
anything.
garbage. I think if anybody is making you feel negative about that relationship, it is fine for you to get rid of it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think that's something that I need to remember, that it is okay. Because at the end of the day, if you're choosing to have this negative presence in your like little circle, then you can't really blame anyone but yourself for it still being there. If you're choosing not to get rid of it, then you can't really complain about it. So
yeah, I think that's quite sensible.
Yeah, the back end of this year I've been living by that.
But what do you think you're going to do in 2020?
I think stick to my guns on it, because I feel like I could potentially, like, if I overthink it, I'll feel bad. So, like, I may send a little text. But if I just stop myself from doing that...
Yeah, I mean...
Because I have so many other, like, fab people. It's not like I need to fill a void or something.
Exactly. I think it's because you're so fixated on this one person. I've had it with, like, former best friends and stuff, where you're like, this is, you know, my best friend, this is my soulmate in friendship.
Yeah.
But then, at the end of the day, that's not true. People develop. They say that people change every 7 years.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's quite true.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe mine was a bit delayed. Maybe I changed when I was 23 and just like...
At a euphoric moment, you
literally
became a different woman.
Literally became... Honestly, if you saw me during, like, as soon as I finished uni, I was a completely different person. I feel like, definitely. And my friends who I used to work with, they said part of my change is due to Brad actually being happy and not miserable all the time. But
and
I
it's
feel
made
like,
you, like, more confident in yourself and your decisions.
Not even. Actually, I'd say that. Like, I'm like, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm not going to speak to this person. You know what? This person, I will speak to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm choosing who and when I want to speak to people, and, you know, not to be like, oh, I'm amazing or something, but if I do take the time to message you, or if I do take the time to put effort in, you know, that's a conscious choice. Yeah. So reciprocate,
Stop being rude. I think it's just that, like, selfish element, and remembering that, like, it's your life at the end of the day. So like
Yeah.
you do have the power to choose and take people out that aren't.
Take people out.
Oh my god, I'm having a fight. I swear that's not in my nature. I would probably hurt myself if I was having a fight.
God.
So we're not going down that route.
Take them out. Cutthroat. God, I thought I was bad. Just take them out.
Like uppercut. But yeah, I think that is the 2020 view.
Yeah.
We'll go down that path.
See, I think I'm going to carry on with what I've been doing because...
Yeah, it's been very successful for you.
For me, and like, the people who message me, yeah, it's not as much because people aren't responding or whatever. But for me, when people message me, it's people I want to hear from.
Yeah.
Or like, if I message people, it's, you know, people I want to speak to.
Mm.
And I've got to the point where I'm not waiting for a message that's not going to come, or I'm not waiting for someone to be like, oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to do these plans?
Yeah.
Or me always arranging everything, because to be fair, it's similar with, I've talked to Brad about this, and he's had similar experiences where he's the person who arranges everything, and his friends sort of like wait for him to message.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's what they're like. And I'm like, but I don't want to be like that
anymore.
over
that, yeah.
I'm over that. He's like, they're my friends.
Yeah, see, to me, that's, as like an objective person, like, it sounds as if like in that group he's like taken like the assertive leader role, and maybe like they've become accustomed to the fact that he is that guy in the group. So I think you shouldn't just like in any friendship, like, just assume that because you're putting all the effort in. I think it's important to remember that, like, that they're not necessarily a bad friend, and like, you do need to remember that like other people have got stuff going on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Like, I don't think
first.
Like, we're not advising anybody to
like,
just
dump the best friends.
Start dumping all of their friends.
I think,
but I think you do have to like take a step back and like see who actually isn't. I think it's based on who's bringing the positive vibes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Rather than always about effort, I think.
See,
how they make you feel and things.
The dumping stage, as we call it, that I sort of got to, it wasn't just like, oh, they didn't message me back. Oh, the dogs died. Oh, they're so selfish.
Yeah.
It was more of the fact of it'd been over a year.
Oh yeah, that's like taking the absolute biscuit.
Scarce. Maybe they hadn't come see me. It was always me going to see them.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, you know what, I'm better than this. I'm addicted to literally looking at messages and looking on my phone and being like, why haven't they messaged me back? And that's what it is. It's not even physical friendship anymore. I think, it's really bad in a friendship if all you're doing is just messaging each other all the time and not arranging to do anything, when you're just literally becoming a robot talking to another robot.
It becomes like just a texting friendship. I think that's like it applies to like relationships as well, doesn't it? When you can just have a texting relationship.
I don't think it's a relationship.
It's not a relationship, is it? Because then when you see each other, how do you talk to one another?
That's a big issue. We're not going further into it, but that's a big issue with most online relationships.
Yeah.
You start text, you don't progress, and then maybe after 6 months down the line you meet up. What the hell do you have to talk about? And
it's stagnant again, yeah.
You literally just sat there like on each other's phones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's tough. I'm not saying dump all your friends and like...
No, don't do that. Start like...
lock the door and
3
like...
people on Facebook.
Your mum and your
I couldn't do that.
dog.
I'm too nosy.
Yeah. But I'd say if you feel something's wrong, and if you feel like you can't actually talk to that person anymore and you don't have the support, then it's leading into a negative friendship.
Definitely.
And then if you can't do anything about it, maybe take a step back, push them away from you a little bit, like even if it's deleting or just not messaging, and and stop being the doormat.
Yeah. I think in the past, I think a good way to like weigh it up is to write it down, to be honest. I know that sounds really cringe.
No, I think
like I
it's
feel
correct.
like people still cringe at like journals and stuff. But in the past I know that I have like vented to a journal page and like sort of weighed up if I want the friendship. And if you are writing down like only negative stuff about this friendship that you're trying to decide if you want to get rid of or not, pretty much answers your question.
pretty much says it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a good idea, actually. I think I did that mentally in my head.
Yeah.
Where I didn't write it down, but I probably should have.
I have done that, though, in my brain, like, come up with, like, a little
I, like,
table.
split it, and I'm just like,
pros,
right.
cons, bullet points.
I'm like, this is what I like, this is
yeah,
not what I
I've
like.
literally done
Weighing
that.
it up. I've done it in my head a lot.
I've done that as well.
I do it with, like, a lot of things. But, you know, I think there should definitely be some reasoning behind it. But I think we should be stronger as people, empowering, and, like, you know, a friendship, you know, shouldn't be one-sided.
No. Here's an interesting thought then. So, do you think this issue happens more in male relationships with males or female to female?
Female to female.
Definitely. I would agree with that, yeah.
Like I've told you with Brad, his uni friends he still keeps in contact with, even though it's been, like, a while since he's graduated. One of his uni friends, he ended up getting him a job at the place he works. Another one comes up to see him every time he has a chance. And, like, they keep in contact, but they don't message each other as much.
Yeah.
So theirs is more of a physical friendship when they see each other.
Yeah, it should be, really.
Well, yeah, you know, that's what it was in the olden days. But I feel like...
Before tech.
Before technology ruined the world. But I feel like because it's an issue of women think and feel too much. And men
I think men as well. I think they are, like, I think males are more likely to tell their friend that they're annoying them and that they're not being there for them.
I don't even think they'd say not even being there for them. I think they'd just be like, you're being whatever.
You're being a dickhead. Can you please get back in my life and, like, stop being rude? Because I know that I think, because I spoke to my brother about this actually recently, and he said that even though he agrees with what we've just said, that he says that there is still a lot of bitchiness between males, but I just feel as though they are more likely to get it out and speak in the group or whatever, rather than girls. Potentially. Because there's no way, like, that I would text a friend that I'm currently not really in contact with and be like, right, I think that you've been a crap friend recently because you've done this. There's no way I would do that.
I'd be
but
terrified.
I feel as though, like, even in person, if we met up, I would pretend like it was calm and it was and there was no problem.
Well, I think
because I would hope that it would sort of flatten itself out. Whereas I feel like if a guy met up with his mate that he felt like was being a bit shitty, they would be like, oh well, you know, even if it's like a snide remark potentially, they'd be like, oh well, you know, you didn't turn up for this. Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Obviously, I don't know. I am biologically female.
We don't have a male brain. Because they work weird anyway, as a species.
They function differently. They were programmed differently. But yeah, it does sort of make sense. But it's hard. I mean, I try and think back to Brad, and I try and think back to, like, the males in my life. And there was a case recently with, like, one of my friendship groups where these guys had their own little group. And
in the group?
Like, it's branched off. It was like a different group, because that's how we work. We're not just friends, we have groups. It's a group extension of just guys, and, like, did guy things, watched wrestling, did whatever. And they decided to cut another person out of the guy group.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't even, like, the leader of the guy group, the closest to the guy they kicked out.
Yeah.
It was a random guy in the guy group who was just like, yeah, we don't want you to come anymore. And, like, cut it off.
Said that?
He sent a
Eliminate
message.
the testosterone.
Literally sent a message. He said, yeah, we're not comfortable, like, with you being there anymore. And then none of them have spoken to the guy ever since.
Oh my God, that's mental.
I've spoken to both sides. And the ones who sort of dumped are just like, don't really care. And then obviously the guy who's been friendship dumped.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe they've done this. I can't believe they didn't actually come and speak to me. They've just cut me off.
Oh my God, that's actually crazy.
I know. If someone did that to me, I think I'd cry. I'd be emotional.
I would cry.
I'd be so emotional.
Because I'd be like texting like, why has this happened? And they'd probably not be replying. They'd probably like block me.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Oh my god,
know
that's actually crazy.
I don't know the details exactly. I don't know if they've been like deleted and
blocked or
whatever.
Just been eliminated.
But I know they've not been in contact since. No. And it's awkward because I'm going back to see some friends and I wanted to see them all together because I only have a select few days. But I can't put them together if it's going to be awkward.
Yeah, because there's that one... Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I've never heard of that, ever.
I haven't. That's why I just remembered, and I thought...
They've just taken this conversation to, like, the next level.
We're not on Earth anymore.
Like, professional dumpers at this point?
Done it to so many girls, they're just like, whatever.
Like, we start doing it to the guy mates.
God. But yeah, and
that's crazy.
It's crazy because the people in the guy group are, like, the chillest, nicest people. And then when I heard
surely then
the different sides...
That shows that if they're like that in nature, then it must have been something serious.
Well, I know the issue of why they kicked him out. I'm not going to say.
You're not going to disclose, obviously. That's fine.
But it was an issue. But
was it dump worthy?
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, interesting.
Especially considering the issue of why he was dumped from the friendship group. He was actually dumped a while after the event happened. Yeah. And we sort of all had an intervention for the guy. Yeah. To be like, right, you can't do this anymore. We're friends. You do this again, we're not going to be here for you. Yeah. And he was like, fair enough. But they came to that, and then they just decided to dump him off afterwards. Even though he was like, I'm going to change my life around. Oh. And then they decided to dump him anyway. God, this is getting so complicated.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I'm not in this friendship group.
Honestly.
It's causing me stress.
I have so many stresses in friendship groups. It's unreal. This is why I need to be like, dump.
That is heavy.
This is why I need to dump, because I get in these situations where I'm in awkward, uncomfortable friendships and, you know...
Don't know what's going on.
My mental state cannot take, like...
Any more of these.
I'm quite select with friends now. That becomes quite harsh, and I know I can come off, you know, quite cold at times. Yeah. But I've been hurt so many times.
Oh, it's okay.
That I can't.
You're being strong.
I know, I can't. Can't deal with it. It's funny, I'm like, with relationships and friendships, we're like the reverse. Yeah. So you're like so nice and like welcoming friendships, and then in relationships you're like, you were invested and now you're not. We've done like a complete 180. Yeah. Like we switch bodies.
Oh my God.
I know. Bomb drop.
This is some like adult.
So it does happen with men.
It does happen with men.
I don't know exactly, because I think every friendship's different.
That could be a complete anomaly in the cases. You never know. I don't know. I've not researched that.
In my research,
I just spoke to my brother. He got the details.
But I think it's tough in all friendships, and every friendship is different. And I don't think dumping someone is someone you can literally ask someone and be like, should I dump this person? Yeah. It needs to be, like we said, mentally weigh up the good, the bad. I know that sounds really minimalistic, but I think you sort of at that stage if you're desperate.
If one side's outweighing, you definitely know the path.
If you're starting and you're literally like, this person brings me down, this person makes me cry, this. Yeah. If it's more negative straight away, instantly you should be like, red flag, there's something wrong here. Even if we've been friends for 5 years, even if we've been friends for a year, or if we've been friends for 6 months, if there's something bad, cut it out and
look for them little red flags. I think that's some good advice. I'm going to take that on board for 2020. Up until, you know, the end of December, I'll be a bit nice.
It's Christmas.
Come 1st of January, I'm like, right, who's going?
But yeah, so I think to sum up, my resolution for 2019 was, you know, not be a doormat with my friends. Yeah. And for 2020, I'm still going to go into that. But
I'm going to pursue that a bit more.
But I'm going to try and be a bit nicer.
Okay.
It's the Christmas period.
You can be all festive and...
Well, it's past Christmas now, this is all.
Well, yeah.
But I'm going to try and be nicer. I'm going to try and reach out to people who may need it more. But that's me. What about you?
In reverse of that.
I'm going to be a stone cold killer.
I mean, I couldn't go cold turkey in that respect and just be like, right, I'm going to be horrible because it's just not in my nature. But I think definitely have a more firm, headstrong view on it and be like, no, you are not good in my little Shannon realm.
Yeah, definitely.
Out you pop. See you later.
Sayonara.
Not texting you again. Okay, so anybody that is going to be doing this with us, cool. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a good resolution to have for 2020.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's going to be, I'm not going to set like 1,000 resolutions, but I'm going to carry it on and expand upon it.
What are your other resolutions? Mine is from this year, is to continue to be on my phone less. Because, you have the screen report that's like, you've been on your phone for 3 hours and something this week, and it's going down. Drink more water, number 2.
Yeah.
The friend thing, definitely. And I think you would agree with this, ace the Masters.
Yeah. Well, stealing from yours. To be fair, I always want to do the less phone thing, but on our course and in our sort of line of work, if you miss Twitter for a night, I feel like you're out of the loop.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to just drop social media because it is essentially part of us. Like, people can say, oh, you put your phone down and whatever. But no, if an alert comes up and it's something huge, you need to be there.
Oh yeah, 100%. But in terms of just
maybe with friends and listening, or when you're at a social event, put your phone down.
Put your phone down. That is, that's what I mean.
I mean, I've tried to do that. I've tried to. Well, it doesn't help that my phone's always dying, but I have tried
Tech
to.
Problems.
If I'm out with people, put my phone on the middle of the table. They put theirs on. We just talk.
Off you go.
But
talk like humans.
So I'm going to do
that. It's a good resolution. Yeah. Any others?
Obviously the friend one. But I think my final resolution is obviously to ace the Masters, but in turn, gain skills that will help me, and by this time next year,
oh my God,
I hope to have a job.
100%. That is.
I'm not an unemployed bum. I want a job.
Yeah. Christmas 2020, I'm going to be an employed journalist.
Christmas 2020, I want to be on holiday somewhere.
Yeah, also that.
Want to be somewhere sunny, somewhere nice.
So if anybody else has any cool or good resolutions, let us know on the social media pages. We're pretty active on them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I take the realm of Twitter, you take the realm of Instagram.
Oh, my favourite platform
your
ever.
Your fave.
Instagram.
We're not on Facebook.
It's like my little baby, you know.
Yeah. We're not on Facebook because...
No. Shannon hates Facebook.
I'm not a big fan of Facebook. And I find the advertising on it quite tacky.
Oh, yeah.
It does... I don't know. That isn't a dig at anyone. I just generally find Facebook tacky.
It's a personal preference.
I think it's consuming. But... yeah, so we're on Twitter, Instagram. We're also on Tumblr, but that's scheduled posts that we're randomly doing. And we also have our blog on WordPress.
Yeah.
Girls in Real Life blog.wordpress.com.
So yeah, pop your resolutions or any of your friend problems on there.
Yeah.
And we hope you have an amazing 2020.
And we'll be back in January.
And we will.
Bye.
Woo, bye.